Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. It is early on this Tuesday morning, February 18th, 2014. It is about, well, it's a little before 8 a.m. And we've got a pretty nice day starting out for us. 34 here at the Huntingburg Airport, 31 in Evansville. So if you're driving out this morning, maybe watch for a few patches of black ice. Not too bad. I know my daughter's school, Southridge, in here in Huntingburg is on a 2-hour delay, and I know many of your schools are on a 2-hour delay as well, so keep that in mind. There may be a few patches of black ice out there, but it's going to be a nice day overall. Plenty of sunshine this morning. We'll cloud up a little bit later this afternoon, but you know, if you go to southernindianaweather.com, you can get your 7-day forecast. Folks, we're going up to about 52, so you can't complain about that. It's going to be a nice day, and don't forget you can hear our forecasts on the radio while you're driving as well. We're on 101 Country WBDC and 103.3 The Fix. If you go to our website here at southernindianaweather.com, you can click on the logos to be taken to their website. So check that out and give them a like on their Facebook pages as well, if you will. All right, today's video update is sponsored by High Voltage Mobile DJ Service. You can contact Nathan at 630-9465. Visit him on the web at djhighvoltage.com and tell him Southern Indiana Weather sent you. All right, just a real quick update today, folks. I've got a meeting that I have to be at tonight, so I won't be able to do another one of these videos until probably late tonight. It'll be 10 or 11 o'clock before I get home, so I may have another one out for you, night owls, potentially tonight, but I'll have some updates continue throughout the day. All right, but I wanted to update you on the latest. I know severe weather is on everybody's mind. We have the Day 3 Outlook brand new issued out. We're still kept underneath of the slight risk for severe weather on Thursday. Now, if you remember the Day 4 and 5 outlooks that I had showed you, on days 4 and 5, they only outlined broad areas that are at least a 30% risk. On days 3 through 1, when day 1 being the current day's outlook, by the way, so this is the outlook for 2 days from now. On these outlooks, they'll outline it by percentages less than 30%. And so, well, let me just show you. You can see they've outlined most of us for a 30%, but they've also put a 15% hatch around it and sort of expanded that severe risk area out. 5% is sort of their standard risk of just a few thunderstorms. It's not severe. You start to get into the slight risk category when you get into 15%, and then the high-end slight risk starts at 30%. Next step up from here would be a moderate risk, which would be 45%. It is possible that we could see that issued, but they probably won't issue that until Thursday morning if they see fit for that. I think a 30% is a pretty good fit for us right now. And you can see it covers all of southern Indiana. In fact, it covers all the way well north of Indianapolis as well. So there's a pretty decent risk for severe weather. And if I just take you into the models and show you why real quick, you'll be able to see that very easily. Here's what the GFS is saying, and the timing on them is still a little bit different. The GFS takes the cold front right to the Ohio, right to the Wabash River, excuse me, not the Ohio, right to the Indiana border here with Illinois along the Wabash, and this is 7 p.m. Now, if we were to take a look at that in the NAM, in its solution, it actually has it at about 5 o'clock, close to the Wabash River weather than 7 o'clock. So NAM is speeding it up a little bit where GFS is slowing it down. Ironically, the GFS was the exact opposite. It sped it up yesterday while the NAM slowed it down. So these are some things that the models are still going to have to get a handle on, and you know, it's going to take a couple of days. If I just go back out here, we'll take temperature data off. Let me show you the satellite view here real quick. And you see this little storm that's brewing right off the coast of British Columbia up here. This is actually our weather maker for Thursday. So yeah, it's a very fast moving system. It's that far out. This booger is going to essentially, if I can highlight it here, it's going to move on shore and get caught up with the jet stream and sort of take a nosedive south. As it does, a piece of the energy is going to break off here, start to form a new surface low, be forced down, catch up with the jet stream, and then sort of eject this way and drag cold front with it. That's complicated. I understand. That's a lot to happen in the next few days, but that's pretty much what's going to happen. But all that to say, when you've got a storm still off the coast of, off here up in the Pacific Ocean, off the coast of British Columbia, you know, the reality of it is we can't sample it in our upper air networks yet. Now, this should move on later this evening, and so we'll start to be able to get a little bit better data as we can send weather balloons up into the storm and actually sample it. That should make our models a little bit better. Hopefully, that will resolve some of these timing issues. But as far as severe weather parameters are concerned, they're still looking pretty impressive. If we take a look here at winds around the 18,000 feet mark, we've got winds ripping at 60, 70 knots right above us. If you take a look at the low-level jet around 4,000 to 5,000 feet, it's actually increased 60 to 70 knots there. We do have plenty of precipitation to go. Here's what I want, the instability. And again, we start to increase a little bit on instability, especially over the far southern portions of Indiana here. And really, again, this time of year, you only need 250 units of instability is plenty appropriately, and it's progging us with some areas of at least 500 units of instability. So it's there, and all the parameters are continuing to line up day after day. You got your bulk shear. There's plenty of bulk shear. Bulk shear is just change in wind speeds as you go up in height in the atmosphere, and there's plenty of change in wind speeds, 40 and 50 knot winds differences as you go from the surface up to through the 500 millibar level, about 18,000 feet. So plenty of wind speed direction. If you look at your surface to 18,000 foot crossover, difference in wind directions as you go up, and they're noticeable there too as well. So you got some spin for these thunderstorms, and again, plenty of precipitable water. This is moisture being transported. Again, it's just a steady plume of moisture right from the Gulf of Mexico. If we talk about temperatures as well, remember instability is created by warmth and temperatures. Here the high resolution NAM only sees out as far as 1 p.m. on Thursday. I'll show you future radar here in a second with that. You can see it warms us up into the low 60s already by then. High temperatures with the regular NAM, not the high resolution. The regular NAM sees out a little bit further. Again, 60s. Euro takes us into the 60s as well. And if I were to show you the GFS, yeah, it would be a similar thing. But when you're talking about 60-degree weather this time of the year, when your average is about 48 degrees, that's really warm. And with a powerful cold front, it can really do some things. Let's talk about our let's go through our regular NAM first, and then I'll show you our high resolution NAM. Regular NAM goes out and sees the whole event. The high resolution NAM doesn't. And let me just take this in and show you that by overnight hours on Wednesday night, you got some storms that brew to our west and might move through a little bit here. But then here you got the afternoon hours. Here's 1 p.m. on Thursday, and you see not out to our west. You start to see some storms out there, but they're not congealed into a line yet. And you can see they look pretty disorganized even here. By 5 o'clock, and it takes before 7 o'clock, between 5 and 7, for these storms really get to organized, and the NAM organizes them right over us. So again, that's a similar vein to yesterday, where the severe weather would organize and set up right over us. So that could be a good thing, because some of our counties would get missed from it if that's the case. However, the high resolution NAM paints a different story, and the high resolution NAM is usually a lot more reliable in these type of setups, because the difference between the regular NAM and the high resolution NAM is the high resolution NAM sees in a tighter grid. So each pixel that you see, if you're familiar with the computer term pixels, it's just a little color dot. If you were to zoom in, you'd see a tiny little square on here. Each tiny little square that has a color fill on it represents 4 kilometers on the high resolution. It represents 12 kilometers on the regular NAM. So you can see it's a much tighter resolution. With a much tighter resolution, you're able to see some of those small scale features that the larger scale models miss. And so that's why the high resolution NAM is usually the more reliable of the two. Let me show you how this sets up. All right. Here we are taking this through the Wednesday early morning hours. And let me just back it up, and you see here we go into the overnight hours on Wednesday morning. And you do see the hint of some showers moving in. Nothing like the regular NAM wants to show. It doesn't show that large precipitation swath. Excuse me. That large precipitation swath out here as you go through the day. Well, yes, it does. I'm sorry, I've told you the wrong thing. Here we go. Early Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, it shows a chance of a few showers here, which is interesting. It was not saying that earlier in some of its runs. We'll see if that verifies. Here's that large precipitation shaft moving in on Thursday. And then we go through the morning hours. Here's 7 a.m. Eastern time. And then here we are by 10 o'clock, and then finally 1 o'clock, and this is as far out as the high-resolution NAM sees at this point. Notice you got a line already starting to form with some embedded thunderstorms in it out towards St. Louis. So that's a little bit of a different look than the regular NAM has, because remember, the regular NAM at the same time frame out in towards St. Louis, it's just a very broken and scattered mess of anything out there. And by this time on the high resolution, it's a very narrow and thin band of an organized severe weather threat. So the high resolution NAM would certainly increase that threat in my mind a little bit. So it's something that we're going to have to continue to watch. But we'll have to see how it goes. Whenever you get temperatures in the 60s, that's what you're going to get whenever you got a strong cold front moving through. And it is a strong cold front, because just take a look at the temperatures. Yeah, the high res NAM is progging us to be at 1 o'clock here on Thursday at 61 in Evansville and 45 over here in St. Louis. So you can see how that's a very, very, very wide difference in between temperatures here. So we'll have to watch that and continue to see how it goes. All right, folks, 7-day forecast, southern indiana weather.com. Again, plenty of sunshine today with a high around 52. Thursday is what we're really looking at. Very breezy, mostly cloudy, chance of severe thunderstorms. Again, we are under that slight risk. We'll continue to monitor that in coming days. And then, not too bad still for the next few days. We're still looking at the potential of a snow and rain mix on Monday with only a high of 38. Doesn't look very bad at this point, but we will monitor it, all right? Well, that is it for today's update. Again, I have a meeting to go to tonight, folks, so it'll be late before I can get another one of these out tonight. So, but I'll have plenty of updates for you, and certainly tomorrow and Thursday through the storm as well. All right. That's it for today. For Southern Indiana weather, I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great day, folks.